Everybody, welcome to Common Sense with Curtis Scott. And today, I just wanted to share a few things, and I talk a lot about common sense isn't so common anymore. And we're living in some times where evil just seems to be really prevailing. So with that, I'll just kind of start with, first, I'd really like to, if you're hearing this message, pray for the family of Athena Strand, for all her, grandparents, parents, all of her family and friends. There's no words to really explain stuff like this besides it's evil. But even today in the world we live in, a lot of people don't want to call it evil. And that's just the thing I'm talking about. Common sense isn't so common. And, for a little girl to be, I don't even want to say, it talks about in the Bible not talking about the things that are even done in private and everything. And I don't even want to say, but man, it's just one of those things that as a father that just irks you. And so I really wanted to share a few things I saw this weekend. And one of them was Mark Strand, the grandfather, a post that he did that was just really powerful. I also wanted to share something from an old friend of mine that he shared, and it hit a lot of people, but I'm going somewhere with all this, and I just ask that, like I said, pray for this family, but also pray for our nation, because where we're at and the things happening like this. And anyways, I'm going to go into what Ty, an old friend, we went to school together and everything, but he shared a post that basically said, when you allow woke companies like Disney, Balenciaga, and even the schools to sexualize our children, and then we act shocked when some dirtbag abducts and murders a little girl. And this stuff, just like I said, being a father, it really ticks me off that somebody do this. But anyway, so a dirtbag abducts, murders a little girl, and then just throws her away, and it's just sad, like I said. But then he continues on in his post that says it's past time for some old customs to return. And you can take that to mean what you want. I think I might have a little idea what Ty meant. However, I just got to say, what does it mean to you? Because I grew up in a time where you just didn't hear about this stuff happening so often. We didn't see all this evil just prevailing in our land. I mean, it's rampant in our land. And when you see some tragedy like this, there's no excuse for it besides that it's pure evil. And why is evil allowed to run rampant? And that's where we need to change our land. We need to be standing for truth. We need to be standing against the evil. And that's what it says in Ephesians 5. It talks about exposing the evil and not just letting evil prevail. Edmund Burke, I believe it is, that said, all it takes for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. But we could sit here and talk about that all day, and it's not going to change till we change our hearts. And when we can call good, good, and evil, evil. And so that's where I just wanted to talk a little bit about Mark Strand, the grandfather of Athena Strand. And, I would just say that this man, I can't imagine what he's going through. But if you haven't seen his post, I would highly encourage. I've shared it. I'm sure hundreds, if not thousands, of people have shared it. But it's a powerful, powerful message. And he talks about a friend had recently asked him if God speaks. And he continues on to say that, yes, he knows God speaks, because right now in his life, a quiet voice is telling him to forgive. And I don't think any of us, none of us want to ever imagine what he's going through. But he says throughout this message that if he could be in a cell alone with this man, what he would probably do right now. But a quiet voice, the Holy Spirit, is speaking to him to forgive. And that's where I'm, you listen to Ty and everything, and a lot of people would think that he's saying, returning to some, vigilante stuff. But I think if we listen to what Mark Strand says and forgiving, but the thing is we've got to also recognize evil for what it is. But Mark Strand's message is that he forgives this man. That takes a whole lot going in the middle. And, I've been through some things, but no one here, hardly anybody, could say that they've experienced anything like what he's going through. And it's sad that we live in a time where this is so prevalent to where kids are being killed pretty regularly, if you go look at the news. But Mark Strand continued on to say that he forgives him, and that's the thing that's more important than anything, and that he actually basically says that he would pray that he receive Jesus. And that's the Spirit of God. That's the Spirit of Jesus, the Holy Spirit living inside of him. And that's a powerful, powerful message. In Romans 12:21, it says what this is all about. It says, do not be overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good. And the message that Mark Strand shared is that right there. He's not allowing, because he talks about this. And like I said, I'm not going to cover his whole thing, but I would highly encourage you to go look at it. And, just because of what he's going through, none of us can imagine. But, it in a nutshell, it says that the Romans 12:21, do not be overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good. And the only way you can do that is with the Holy Spirit. And, I don't know what Mark Strand, I don't know who he is really, besides I saw his post, but I would say that he is preaching the gospel through this. And that's what we should use every opportunity to bring people to Christ. And, that's where we've kind of forgotten where our founding fathers and where our nation came from. But like I said, I just ask that anybody that hears this message to really just pray for that family. Lift them up in your prayers. But, the Bible also talks about that don't just support people, about not just loving with words, but in action also. And that's where, let's do something. Let's change something, because we can't continue to see this world going to hell in a handbasket. And like I said, though, pray for this family. If God puts it on your heart to do something for them or whatever, do something for them. Do something for this nation. Do something for the people around you. And, love is the greatest thing we can have. Truth and love are what really will change this world, and it's the only thing that'll change this world. And that message from Mark Strand, read it and try to live it. Like I said, I can't even imagine. But anyways, though, I don't want to continue on, don't want to ramble on, but just remember, do not be overcome with evil because of the things going on in this world, but overcome evil with good. Love you guys. Go love God and love people.